watching Bite Me. And in the spirit of the holidays, we have a wonderful dessert for you today. And this is a maple panna cotta with some lovely stewed plums and some peaches which are going to be lightly toasted with some ginger and butter. And if that doesn't sound Christmassy to you, I don't know what does. So to start this really simple dessert, all I need is 318 ml of whole fat milk, and to that I'm going to add just 10 grams of gelatin. I'm just going to sprinkle it lightly on top, and then I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes to bloom so the gelatin can start to activate. In about 5 minutes, you'll see that the gelatin has made the top of the milk all wrinkly, and that means that it's activated. So you're going to put it on a very low flame because at no point do you want your milk to boil. And you're going to gently start whisking to make the gelatin dissolve. And then what you're going to do is add your maple syrup. Now this is 139 ml of maple syrup. Just going to go ahead and add that in. As soon as the maple syrup is incorporated and has mixed, it will color the milk as well. Turn off the flame because remember, like I said, you never want this to turn hot because that will kill your gelatin. It will break it down. Okay. Go ahead and add a pinch of salt. Next, what you're going to do is add another 318 ml of thick whole cream. These are your core ingredients for your panna cotta. And that's pretty much it. It's done. Just to make sure that you don't have any gelatin lumps left, you're going to put this through a strainer and into a jug just so it's easier to pour into your ramekins. Don't fill them all the way to the top because remember, you're going to put some of the plums on top and obviously the lovely peaches. Once you've poured these into your lightly oiled ramekins, you're going to put these into the fridge for 4 hours minimum to set. While the panna cotta is cooling in the fridge, you're going to start doing the stewed plums and the peaches. So to start the peaches, I have a tablespoon of butter and half a tablespoon of butter for the plums. Make sure that you're going to melt the butter on a low flame. Just going to flavor this with 1 cinnamon stick, and these are 5 plums which I have blanched, taken off their skin and cut into small pieces. I'm going to add that in. So you kind of want to beat the plums a little bit, bash them in a little bit so that some of the pieces break down. While that's happening, to the butter for the peaches, which I'm just going to kind of swirl it around so the butter coats the pan, I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger powder. Just a 1/4 because I just kind of want the heat at the back. I don't want it to overpower anything. And then I'm going to take my peaches and lay them down one at a time. Stir your plums around. If they need to be moved to a smaller flame, go ahead and do that. You want this to cook slowly. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes to completely break down. You're going to go ahead and add about half a tablespoon of maple syrup to your plums. Because this is a sugarless dessert, I'm going to continue using maple syrup even in the fruit. You could substitute the maple syrup for honey if you don't have maple syrup. It works just as well, I promise. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my plums because they're drying out. And then I'm going to cover it and leave it for about 2 minutes. Keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't burn at any point or catch on the pan. So once you've put your plums aside with the maple syrup to just cook on a gentle flame, I'm going to turn the heat up for the peaches and I'm going to flip them. What I want is just a little caramelization to take place. This is just the amount of caramelization you're looking for in your peaches. You just want a slight browning. I'm going to turn my flame off, put all my peaches towards the middle. And this is optional, although I suggest you try it because it's more maple syrup. So I'm just going to drizzle about half a tablespoon on the peaches as well. In about 6 to 8 minutes, your plums are nicely broken down and they're all soft and squishy like this. At this point, you want to let it cool, so pull out the cinnamon stick, set it aside, just let it cool for a bit. If you want to blend this and process it into a lovely smooth coulis, go ahead and do that. I like it chunky like this because I like to taste the fruit that I'm about to eat. So while this is cooling, let your peaches also cool at room temperature. The panna cotta has set and we left it in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours. And some of them I left overnight, so they're really nicely set. And I'm just going to show you how to present them. So the ones in the mason jars, which are adorable, I just normally put them on a plate with some flowers at the side. And then I get some of the stewed plums, just put a little bit in. Because we're doing the ones in the mason jar, I have some of the peaches which I cut into tinier pieces. Just put a couple, just for a different texture. And then, because this is in a mason jar, all I'm going to do is take some mint leaves because you want a little pop of green, and that's done. Now for the ones in the ramekin, if you want to take them out of the ramekin and present them on a plate, what you're going to need is a tiny pot with a little warm water. You don't want hot water in it because then the panna cotta will melt immediately. You just put your ramekin in just about halfway. Get all the water off. And then with a palette knife or a very thin knife if you have one, just going to gently go around the edges. And then you're going to get your plate, you're going to put it over, and then you're going to flip. And it may take a little bit of encouragement for it to come out, and that's fine. So give it a few taps. So be gentle. And there you have it, that's the panna cotta. Then you're going to get some of the peaches again. And you want the plums to be in a nice thin layer because they're going to add a nice sharpness to it. Also then I'm going to put in some of the peaches. That's it, that's the panna cotta. It's just that simple to make, and it's such a nice looking dessert to present for like maybe a Christmas party or a New Year's celebration or just for the holiday season in general. And now for us to taste it, because I have been thinking about these for a while. I'm going to use the one in the jar because it is just adorable. Look, it wiggles. It's supposed to shake like the inside of a woman's thigh. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? Panna cottas are one of my favorite desserts because they're so versatile. You can flavor them any way you want. And this maple one is not too sweet, and you get the lovely sharpness from the plums and the lovely texture of that stone fruit from the peaches, as well as the ginger at the back. So I hope you'll try this recipe out because it is delicious, I promise. Try it. Have a wonderful holiday season. Be sure to like, share and subscribe for more recipes like this.